Hi everyone, this is Professor Gimby, and I'm going to share with you a video of that features a woman who is an expert at uh, teaching people how to do an interview or do a presentation, for that matter. A presentation, something that you're going to be doing, and how to reduce the amount of fear that goes with um, doing a presentation. People are extremely afraid of presentations, even a presentation which takes place online, which is how we're going to have to do this. Your presentation will be done online. So before I play this video, which features a Ms. Hart, I'm going to go over some vocabulary that you will come across listening to this video. So this might help you with better understanding what they're saying. So I'm going to pull up the Word document here, and so there at the top of the page, there's the YouTube video, and this is a speech about how to overcome a person's fear about public speaking. And Terry Hart is the name of the guest. So one of the first things she says is, the audience isn't your adversary. Okay, what does that mean? Well, then she goes on to say, they are on your side. So basically, what she's saying there is that the audience or the people listening to your presentation are your friends. They're not your enemies. They're not out to give you a hard time. They're supporting you. They want you to do well. So that's the first thing that she points out. Then it reads, obsessively watched that sneeze. Okay, so what she's saying here is that oftentimes people who give presentations are really concerned about their appearance, not so much their clothing. I think you should dress well, but how big their smile is. Of course, she also talks about smiling and how important it is to smile. But if you sneeze or your posture is a little bit off, it really doesn't matter. Her point was that they are there to listen to your message as a presenter. What do you have to say? That's the most important thing to the people listening to your presentation, that is, the audience. Then she gives us an acronym. Now, if you don't know what an acronym is, it's right here, this word. An acronym is a set of letters that form a kind of word. And the beginning of each letter, or each letter in that acronym goes with a word. So, like, you're familiar with scuba diving, SCUBA. Now, scuba diving, or you call it skin scuba, scuba is actually an acronym, and the S stands for self. The C stands for contained. The U stands for underwater. The B stands for breathing, and the A stands for apparatus. Well, here she gives us the word brief. Now, brief is an acronym, and that acronym is something that you want to follow when giving a speech. So the first letter is B. There it is right there. So B stands for believe. So to help you to minimize your fear, you want to believe in what you are saying. Believe that what you are saying is true and accurate and helpful to the audience. Okay, and then the next letter is R. The next letter in brief is R. R is rehearse. Rehearse. So what does that mean? That means practice. Practice in front of a group if you can. Okay? So practice is so important. Then there is I. I is for interesting. So what does that mean? The I in brief stands for interesting. So you want to sound interested in what you are saying. Again, this is all of what she talks about in her in her interview on this show we're going to watch in a minute. The E stands for edit. So make in your presentation only what needs to be there. So make sure that you're focused and you're giving only information that they need, not extra stuff that's not important. And then finally, the F in brief stands for fun. So have fun when you do your presentation. There are a couple more instances where uh, certain expressions are made and you may not have caught it. So the morning of this Terry Hart says the morning of. This means the morning of the presentation. So she also says tribe, and the tribe is the group of people that she practices with or rehearses with. So basically, a tribe is a close group. In this case, it's her family. Then she goes on to say where it's working. So when she thinks her presentation is going well during her practice. So where it's working, that's when she feels that the presentation is going well. And finally, you don't have to do a top hat and cane show. Okay? That basically means you don't really have to be super talented or have some kind of a gag. You know what a gag man is? So you don't have to have a gag. You don't have to do anything really special. You don't have to jump through hoops or do backflips or ride a unicycle to impress the people. Just focus on the message. Okay, now I'm going to go back to this interview and we'll listen to the whole thing. She's a very enthusiastic woman. She has lots of energy. So here we go. Now this talk show, I believe, takes place in Canada. And this black woman here, this woman of color, is the host. So let's listen.
And reporter at Entertainment City, but she's here with us today to get rid of our fear about public speaking. Terry Hart. This is an important one, okay? I threw this out to the audience before you even got here. Like, who is deathly afraid of public speaking? Put up your hand. See? This is the norm. This is what we're seeing everywhere. We see it, across gender, across race, socioeconomic, whatever. People don't want to speak in front of an audience.
No, people are terrified of it to the point that some people rank it, and maybe some of you folks rank it, higher than the fear of death. So we're going to try and bring that down a notch today, okay? Public speaking should not be scarier than death.
Right.
So, but I think that one of the things is people are afraid to fail at it. And the overriding concern is that people think, I should just be able to do this. Is that what you think? Like, why can't I just stand up and speak? Well, I couldn't do a marketing presentation or an audit or anything that somebody else has been trained in without doing the work around it. So public speaking is something that you can get better at with a little bit of work and some tips and tricks and a few things that I think you should just get out of your head that are kind of old myths about public speaking.
So what are the myths that we tell ourselves to get through it?
So one thing, we've all heard this, right? Imagine your audience naked or in their underwear. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that, especially if it's at work, because nobody needs to see that with your colleagues. You really don't. But the thing is, the reason that exists is it somehow puts you so that you're putting your audience as your adversary.
Yeah.
And your audience isn't your adversary. They're there to learn something from you. You're the expert, and they're there to help you. You guys clapping when we start this helps us.
That's right.
So when you are public speaking, whether it be 5 people or 500, trust that they're on your side.
Absolutely.
Another thing that's out there is that you should rehearse on your device or in front of a mirror, don't do that.
So you never do that,
I
huh?
never do
I don't do that either.
I think it's a terrible idea. We should never see ourselves speak. It's unnatural. Like, it's not, and what you're looking at in the mirror is never what anybody else is paying attention to. They're paying attention to what you're saying. So focusing on yourself in the mirror or an iPhone, you're going to be paying attention to what you shouldn't be. Pay attention to the words.
So you're thinking of, like, so my lip does a weird thing. I will stare at that lip thing.
Totally.
Right? Like, that's all I'm looking at. I'm not even thinking about what I'm saying. Or you're going to stare at that imperfection that you believe in your head you have. The audience is not aware of it at all.
No.
You once saw yourself in an interview with Robert Pattinson. What did you do?
I sneezed.
Okay.
And it was on television. And so I, of course, obsessively watched that sneeze over and over and over. And I looked terrible sneezing. Everybody looked, but we're not supposed to see it. It's why our eyes close naturally when we sneeze.
Yeah.
So I feel
Not
the
so
same
wise.
way about public speaking. I feel like we shouldn't see how our mouth moves, what our eyes do, because nobody's paying attention to that.
Yeah.
They're paying attention to what you're saying.
Okay, so what should we do? You have an acronym that really helps you with your own public speaking appearances.
Yeah, so I've done a bunch of corporate coaching around this, Trace, and I found that people needed kind of a few steps to go through. So I came up with an acronym, and I use this acronym for myself 22 years later every time I do anything in public. So the acronym is BRIEF. BRIEF.
What's the B for?
The B stands for believe. Believe what you're saying. Oftentimes, we're asked to give speeches or a presentation, and we get notes from marketing or communications or our bosses, and they aren't words that ring true. Maybe there's something in there that just doesn't roll off your tongue. Spend the time and make sure you believe everything that's coming out of your mouth. That's step one.
Okay, because if you believe it, you will feel it and be able to present it in a way that you feel confident about, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and the R?
Rehearse.
Yes.
Now, there's no exact way to rehearse properly. You have to find your own right way. But a really good kind of standard is your text, your script, your presentation should be completed 2 days before your event. Now, if you're waiting on approvals from a boss or communications or marketing, tell them that. Ask for what you need. Say, I need this 2 days before so I can get my rehearsing in. You're allowed to ask for what you need when you're the expert standing in front of the room.
That's right. How do you rehearse? Because I do the shower. I do it in the shower.
So
Then I use my dog and my kids. Yeah, and like, I'm losing you guys. Come on, pay attention.
This is a moment. This is a moment. I usually run through it twice the night before and 3 times the morning of.
Good for you.
And I do it in front of my husband or my tribe, I like to say. I have a tribe. And your tribe, they want to hear the whole thing. If they're really your tribe, they don't want to just hear snippets. They want to hear the whole thing. So find your tribe.
Okay.
And
they'll be honest with you.
They will be honest with you, where it's working, where it's not working. And I also do it standing up. I don't do it slouching on a couch. I don't do it. I actually give myself the body memory that I need to be in that moment the next day.
I love that. Okay, so that is rehearse. We have I, E, F, and only a minute left. So
okay, interesting. Trust that you are. Trust that what you're saying is important to the people who are hearing it. As much as you've rehearsed it, this is the first time they're hearing it. It's interesting. Believe that.
It is. It is. What you have to say is specific because you're the only person that has that information. Trust that. E?
Edit.
Yeah.
Don't try to fill a time in an agenda. Make what you're saying concise, important, and only what needs to be there.
Okay, I struggle with that one too sometimes. So that's a very good tip. And F stands for?
Fun!
Yeah.
You're the expert. And I don't mean top hat and cane fun. You don't have to do a show. And I don't mean necessarily tell jokes. Unless you're good at that, then have at her.
Yeah.
But I just mean smile.
Yeah.
Enjoy the moment. Everybody looks nice smiling.
It's true.
And if you smile, your audience is going to respond to that. And it is fun. You are giving people information that they need.
And you're in a position where people want to listen to you. So use that to your advantage. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Terry, such great empowering words. Can we hear it for Terry?
All right, you all. So I think that was useful. at the top of this page, you can see the link to the to this video, and you can bring up the subtitles, the captions. Okay, I'll put this in the announcements link. Thank you.